Yeah, you can hear? Okay, cool.
All right, so I want to welcome everybody to another edition of a Personal Trainer's Guide to Wealth Creation. And today, I think we've got a really special guest. Well, I know we've got a special guest. I don't think. I've known this individual for the last few years. And the thing I love about doing these interviews is that you're not just hearing it from Craig, PT Wealth, Brad, myself. You're hearing it from other people that have come through the industry, just like we had 23 years ago. And we really want to share the stories to inspire, motivate, but also show you what's possible in the industry. And so I'd like to welcome today my man, Eman. How are you, brother?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
There might be a bit of a delay or something in the process, so we'll figure that part out. But firstly, mate, thanks for taking the time to be with us today. It does mean a lot.
Yeah, sure.
Now, I guess what we need to do is we need to introduce you to everyone's going to be seeing this and watching this. And mate, I want you to explain to the audience that's going to be viewing it, mate, what was the starting point for you in the fitness industry? How did it look, feel, and how did you get into the industry to start with?
Okay, so I joined the fitness industry after I was figuring out what I wanted to do in my life. I think I was around the age of 24, 25 when I was just trying to figure out sort of my place in the world. And then I was doing a whole bunch of stuff. I had finished my science degree. I had done an internship with some science guys at Pecora University. I was working as a dental assistant, so I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then I even studied full-time dancing for a year, so I was doing everything from ballet, jazz, tap, everything. And then at the same time of all that, I was working out a bunch, working out heaps. And then it got to the point where after about 1 year of studying dance and then trying dance for about 8 months, I just figured out this is not what I wanted to do. Dance is not something that you can monetize out of very well or very easily. So the only other thing I knew how to do was eat well and lift a lot of heavy stuff. So I just decided to make a career out of it. Nice. I guess the first few steps of my fitness journey. Yeah, that's how I got started into the fitness career. I enrolled to be a personal trainer, studied that, and then I worked in a sales reception role while I was studying within a gym, Fit and Fast. And yeah, I knew I wanted to become a personal trainer, so I knew you needed to be good at sales, so I wanted to get good at sales, which is why I did the sales and reception role. That's how I started.
Makes sense. So, mate, did you find, just a side note, you did all that other study in your science background, did you find the personal training study quite easy, considering all your study you'd done previously, or because it was a different area, it wasn't?
Yeah, I studied a lot of second and third year physiology, so the stuff in the course was not anything relatively new.
Gotcha.
To me. Yeah. So, I mean, sort of, writing down and formalizing the exercises of clients and whatnot and dealing with the elderly population, I guess that was a little new, but I guess the core concepts of what they're teaching is, pretty straightforward. That part wasn't the hardest difficulty at all. Like the graduating as a personal trainer, that's not difficult at all.
Yeah. So how long ago was that? So from the moment you decided, this industry is for you, how long ago are we talking about that you were working at the gym and you got into those sales roles? How long ago was it, or did I just miss it? Did you just already say that?
I would have started the course in 2014, and then I took about a year to 9 months to finish it because I was working at the time, working full time. And what I ended up doing was at the start of 2015, I made a decision that by March I was going to finish up my role.
Okay.
And whatever happened, if I had a PT job at that point, if I didn't have a PT job at that point, it didn't matter. I wanted to give myself the deadline of, okay, this is when I'm officially going to be stopping work. And that's when I'm actually going to start to look for other personal training positions in another gym.
Yeah, gotcha.
And it, I would say, or from March to July, and then I got a job in July in my local Plus Fitness. So yeah, that's how I got started.
Cool. Well, great. It's not that long ago, really, and you've done a lot in that time that I know of. But what did you experience? So then, as you got into the industry, you obviously were self-employed. You were working for yourself. What were some of the challenges that you experienced at that starting point?
The biggest one was just the whole, I guess, the newness of everything.
Yeah.
The first weeks were, I would probably say, were the most brutal because you have no clients. You're in a world by yourself. You don't really have any other development or support network there, and you're trying to ask people for large sums of money that you had never asked before. I mean, back then it was a lot, but now in hindsight it is, yes, it's not that much. But what it was is just not knowing the techniques and not knowing how to properly sales, and just, I guess, trying to figure out your own way of selling and asking people for money. That was the biggest thing. And just waking up the next morning not knowing if income would be there.
Yeah.
So I guess that will be the most difficult thing, but it's actually one of the most motivating things as well. So that, and just the whole trying to adjust to a whole new different type of lifestyle where you don't have to turn up to work 9 to 5. You don't have that sort of time bracket. You pick when you want to come in.
Yeah.
And I suppose that like just shift in work mentality from having a manager to being your own boss and deciding when you want to come in and whatnot. That was probably the most difficult part.
Yeah.
For sure.
So for anybody, I guess anybody who's been in the industry for as long as you have, or longer, or starting out new, and you're watching this, some really key points. What Eman said is that you're into this world now where very little support, but you also realise that sales becomes a massive part of it. And even if you're technically good, if you can't sell your service and promote it, or you're not sure how to do that effectively, then it can make life a lot more stressful for you. So those are the things that you experienced up at the start. I mean, I guess it's more of a recommendation based on what you did as well, but how did you start to overcome some of those challenges? What was it that you did, got involved in, that made a difference?
So within my first, it's actually funny because within my first, I guess 6 weeks, I had built a very sort of busy clientele in Plus Fitness, and I guess partly the reason why is because I knew, like, it was a fear of not having money that really, I guess, drove me to take massive action.
Yeah.
And at that time, I specifically remember, it's really funny because I would purposely wake up like ridiculously early in the morning, so like 5:30, just to get to the gym by 6 and start prospecting and trying to sort of, like, get as many people consultations, and there was no one in the gym. So I specifically remember thinking, is this just am I not destined to be a great trainer? And then in about like the period of about 6 weeks, I sort of learned like sort of the different times that people come into the gym, because I was treating my small gym of about 900 members the way that I would treat like that my old gym, which had like 4,000 members. So at 6 a.m. it was cranking in my other gym. Now when I went into this 900 member gym, it wasn't so the case. So I started to sort of figure out what times people were coming in, and then I slowly realized that I wasn't having much success in the morning just because no one was there, and the people that were there just didn't want personal training. So a lot of the time, people I found the best way to prospect people was when people would sign up. They're in that buying mentality, then you can introduce yourself and then ask them a little bit more about their goals and book them in for a consultation. So I started to come in and around the staffed hours making sales. So I guess that's a small tip that you can take if you are in the fitness industry just starting up. The very best way you can prospect people is at point of sale when they sign up to the gym.
Yeah.
And it's really easy because you're at the gym when there's staff hours there, and then when there's not staff hours there, then I guess you're either doing sessions or writing programs in your own time.
Yeah, it's a great tip and great point. I definitely would agree. Yeah, that's great. So the thing I like, and the thing for anyone listening to that is that, I mean, regardless of the fact that you got there at 5 or 6 and there was no one there, what I like and what I believe needs to be stressed upon in this point is that it's the drive and attitude that you had to get out of bed and go and do that. And it's a thing that you can't teach somebody, so the fact that, you got to have that drive, that ambition, you got to get there better than, not doing it. So if you are watching this and, a really good trait, a habit for anybody who's going to be successful is that person who's persistent, consistent, and can get themselves into action. So that led you, right, to figuring out, okay, well, the mornings, that's not the ideal time to be prospecting. So what is? So you did that, mate, and, obviously you started to get some traction. Yeah, what did you then do after that? So what did you start to, I guess, invest time, energy, or money into improving, the success of your business? What were some of the things that you started to focus on? Was it systems? Was it sales, training? What did you actually personally do?
I mean, this is at the very, very start. This is at the very, very start of my entrepreneurial, I guess, the fitness entrepreneurial journey. Like at that point, I just wanted to get in and make a bunch of sales. And the only way that I knew how to do that was just through getting in and providing all these clients with just an amazing first initial consult. Yeah. And then at the very end of it, as they taught me in FinFast, the way that you sign someone up is through hard selling. You don't let anyone leave. You don't let anyone leave until they commit to signing up with you. So I would specifically remember spending at least like 1 hour, 30 minutes in a consult just to close someone. And it didn't really matter if I wanted to train them or not. At that time, it was just, okay, I just need to get that initial income happening. So I did a whole bunch of that. Just sell, overcome objections. It didn't matter if I wanted to train them or not. I would just sort of hard sell my way into it. And then it got to the point where it was about 6 weeks in, I managed to get myself a session count of about 50 paid sessions in a week. There was that, everything was just in cash in hand. Everything was just paid up. Yeah. It got to the point that there was just a lot of money on my desk at one point, and I just remember looking at it and thinking, how did this even get here? But anyway, the very first 6 weeks was just doing that, essentially replicating what I was taught in my sales role, which is like provide them with massive value up front and then massive hard sell at the end, and don't let people leave. So initially it was just that. I mean, like no systems at all, if you can even call that a system. It was just straight up,
going for it.
I don't really like this word, but straight up quote unquote hustle. Just get in there, do the very best you can, and don't take no for an answer. So that got very boring really, really fast, and I ended up feeling that this is not all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah.
And I knew at that point that something needed to change, because the money was in, but I wasn't having, I guess, the enjoyment that I wanted, or the enjoyment that I saw other trainers having. And I thought, this cannot be the dream. This is not all the fitness has to offer. So, I guess I entered the next phase of my, I guess, business as to, what got me to where I am now.
Just to clarify, when you say it got boring real quick and this is not what expected, or what do you exactly mean? Was it doing all the selling? Was it now that I'm busy? What do you actually mean that it's kind of lost its mojo?
It was the repetitiveness of it, and the, I guess, lack of meaning that I was deriving from my work. So I would say that at that moment in time, I didn't really have too much knowledge as to how to train people.
Yeah.
I also didn't have hello.
Yep.
Can you hear me still, Jace?
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, all good.
Hello, am I still online?
Yep.
Hello?
I'll text you, mate.
Hello? Okay, it's a bit laggy on my end. Okay, I'm good?
Yeah.
Cool. I just lost my chain of thought. What was the question? Sorry?
So just wanted you to elaborate a little bit more about what it meant about, I think you were saying it, you weren't providing, wasn't having meaning. I think it was just maybe the focus you were talking about was in the wrong direction, and you didn't really know how to train clients that well at that point.
Okay. So what was, and when I had all the, and all the money was being paid, I slowly started to find out that it was a never-ending cycle, right? Because the only way that I was able to get money is if I'd made constant consults. And the only way that I would be able to get more consults is if I had the time. But therein lies the issue, because the more people that you sign up, the less time you have to do consults, because you are now spending time training sessions. You're now spending time with other clients training them, right? So in my heart, deep down, I knew that I needed to get out there and make more sales, but I was sort of hindered by the fact that I had to train so many clients. And that happened for a little bit, where I was just pretty much working excessively through multiple hours, excessive hours throughout the week, 50, 60 hours in a week, just to sort of get the volume of clients that I wanted. And that's what made it become repetitive, because I would train clients and I would do consults. I would train consults, and there was a never-ending story.
Gotcha.
It just kept sort of cycling in and out, just like that. So there was never ever a pause button. I could never sort of hit the pause button, because I was always wondering, okay, if this client leaves, then I have to get more consults. And I was always constantly trying to get more consults. And that, I guess, is what made it quite stifling. And that whole procedure really prompted me to think about what it is that I actually wanted to do in the fitness industry.
Yeah, that's great.
So, yeah.
And I'm fond of saying that unless there's enough desire or enough dissatisfaction, people normally don't make a change. And so in this case, yeah, enough desire and probably dissatisfaction. What was the thinking at that point, and then what did you start, to change focus with, or what were some of the actions that you took? Because I'm sure a lot of people watching this, and I've experienced a lot, good friends even that have been in the industry for a long time, they get caught in that cycle that you just explained, and there's real limitations to it. It can be good at the start, can be all right working your own hours, but there are a huge amount of limitations to it in terms of don't work, don't get paid, people drop off. Then what did you decide to do? What was your thinking, and what were the actions that you took to start to change that?
I didn't know. I honestly didn't know. Like, I knew deep down inside me there was a different answer, but I couldn't figure out what it is that what was sort of the next step. How do I really generate this into a business? So at that point, I started to look for a business coach, where I found Create PT Wealth. So that really, I guess, going to that initial blueprint seminar that they host. So I think right now they call it Business Mastery.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I went to that 2-day event, that really sort of opened my eyes to figure out what to be done in terms of building a team. In terms of, I didn't even know building a team was possible. I didn't even know it was possible. I didn't even know the whole online route was possible. So I committed. I think I paid. I definitely paid. I know there were a few free tickets and whatnot happening, but I think I went through the paid option. So I did that, and then I sat through the whole presentation, and I thought, okay, wow, this is, I really got to figure out more on this. And from then on, that, I guess, inspired the idea of building a team, of trainers to, I guess, take off the load that I had of just training clients, and allow me to do, I guess, more of the sales and marketing component, which is what I'm doing a lot more now. And from there, and this is a big, massive jump in between, that point and where I am now. I'm not doing any sessions whatsoever. So that's been absolutely great. So I guess it was a decision to figure out what was the next step and to figure out uh, how do I leverage my time to be able to impact more people and not lock up my time by doing so many sessions.
Yeah. So the part like there is that, unfortunately, when a lot of people get stuck, or they rather put up with it, they accept it, or they quit the industry, where what you did was look for some solutions or answers. In this case, fortunately enough, it was us that you found. You come across, you liked us, you did the 2-day workshop, and I'm certainly glad you did, because number one, I've got the chance to personally work with you in your second year coaching you, but also that you've been a great source of inspiration and inspiration to others in the time that you've been with us, to show people what's possible. So that's the part that I like the most, is that you've also been able to employ people, and that's created more opportunities, more work in the industry as well. So you're a contributor to it. But I've got a funny story I want to share with the guys, because you did the workshop and you decided you were going to do our internship program, and we had the chat, and I was saying, well, how do you want to invest, for the program? We have pay as you go chunks, pay up front. You go, I'll just pay up front. And I go, okay, cool. And I go, like most people, what they'll do is they'll go, look, I've got the money in my bank account, I'll just transfer it. And you go, I've got the cash, I'll just give it to you. And I'm going, okay, well, all right. I think there's one other time I can recall that happening. And so you're in Sydney, I'm in Brisbane. I go, well, I've got to come down and do some work in Sydney. I'll meet up with you. And as I recall, I've come out to your gym where you were working, and next door was Gloria Jean, I believe, and we sat in there, and what was it?
Yeah, that was it. Gloria
yeah,
Jean,
yeah.
That's right.
Sure enough, we're sitting in there, and next minute out comes this brown paper bag. That was actually an envelope. That's envelopes. And with, I believe it was $10,000 of cash in there, and you pulled it out and started to count, and I go, I'm thinking I'm going to get mugged here in a second. So I said, well, mate, I trust you. I believe it's all there. I'll count it later, I'll count it in the shitter. So there's people, I don't know the area. I'm thinking someone's watching me counting this 10 grand. I'm surely, as much as I back myself to defend myself, I'm thinking knife, gun, I'm going to get mugged, robbed here as soon as I walk out the doors. But the reason I tell the story is because it just summed up for me already before you even started the program. I remember saying to Brad, this guy is going to be a success. Anybody who just takes that form of action, not just about paying the money up front, but I could just tell when we spoke the certainty that it's just like, this is not if it's going to happen, this is exactly what's going to happen, and I'm going to make it happen. And that's been the experience of what you've done over 2 years. So you did that. I believe what would be good now is to talk to about what's life like for you now? Like, fast forward the clock from you first started in the PT industry, starting your business as you described. I know you've invested heavily in not just us, but other avenues of learning as well over the last couple of years. What's life like now? Describe to the audience what is life like, what's business like, and give us the overall view of what it is now compared to what it was when you first started.
Yeah, business is great. Business is great. I'm just about to hit my third year into the industry. Third year in July, and what now is I'm just about to hire my fourth trainer. So we're about to be a team of 5. In terms of the work that I do, we're about to be a team of 5. In terms of the work that I do, I spend my time essentially doing as much sales and marketing that I can possibly handle, because that's what really enables my trainers to grow and flourish. I do train and develop a lot of my trainers in this realm as well, and that is what really gives me, I guess, the biggest kick right now, because I realized really early in the industry that I really like the business side of being a personal trainer. And although the fitness side does it does interest me, but it's not as good of a kick as it is where I train trainers and how to do sales and how to present themselves and how to properly conduct a sales consult. That's where I truly get the biggest. I guess that's where I truly find meaning in the fitness industry. And what has happened is, fast forward from then until now, I have a team of as I said, 4 trainers now, about to be 4 trainers. They're the ones that do all the personal training sessions. I'm the one who trains and develops them into how to do sales consults. They do sales consults themselves. I also do a lot of sales consults too, and then I offload the clients onto them. And look, when I have the time, which is a lot more these days because I'm not locked up in sessions, I work on stuff like social media. I work on stuff like funnels. I work on stuff like landing pages. I work on the back end systems, making sure everything runs as smooth as possible so that I don't physically need to be at work. My trainers have the resources they need to do the things that they need to do. It's that stuff that really that's when you really know that you have a business going, when you physically don't have to be there in your gym to have the money roll into your account. And fast forward, I guess, 2 years, that's where I am now. So mate, I'm absolutely loving where I am right now. Like, I haven't had as much free time as I do these days as I have in my whole entire life. So it's good. It's great. It's great.
It's such an awesome story, and the reason I like it, because you go 3 years in the industry, and I've my personal experience and my experience of others is that, and you'll understand this because you're a big advocate of the mindset side of things as well, is that it's the mindset of what could be achievable, not that holds people back and takes a lot longer. So in 3 years' time, I hope if you're watching this, what you've taken away is that it's investing in the right areas. So if you just want to be the technical trainer and that's the part you want to do, and that's fine. It's not for everyone. If you're watching this, I'm assuming it's because you want more, like you did, mate, and you wanted to start to develop the business so you can help more people, provide opportunities, and it grows. And that's what really, I guess, develops you as a human as well, because you could have just still 3 years later been turning up, just doing a heap of sessions, busting your backside, and go home, and that's in repeat. But I know you, in that time that I've known you, not only the growth in the business, that's been a direct reflection of the growth in you personally. So if you are watching it and you resonate with this, you go, geez, I like the opportunity and possibilities. I think what Emanuel's done is to clearly lay out a platform that you can model of that, what it does take, to be successful and have that lifestyle that you desire. So, mate, what would, I guess, if we were just going to wrap up and give some key points, what would you recommend? So for the people watching this, what would be some of your recommendations that you would say, look, if you are currently in a position where you're feeling stuck, or you don't feel like you have a solution moving forward, or you want more from your life, what would, for your business, what would be some of your recommendations that you found worked effectively for you?
It always starts off with a decision, my honest opinion. Like, you always have to figure out at the very, very start of anything, when you are trying to figure out what it is that you want to do, you got to figure out what do you want to be doing where you could wake up in the morning and it not feel like work. So that is where I really started from. I knew that I was passionate about helping others. As most personal trainers enter into the fitness industry, they are really passionate about helping people, right? But you could help people in a million ways, right? You could help people. You could help people just crossing the road. You could work at a grocery store and help people. You could work at your local McDonald's, and that would be helping people as well, right? But you got to dig a little bit deeper as to what ways do you actually want to be helping people, and figure that out in the realm of the fitness industry. And it wasn't so much just training clients per se. It was actually more so along the lines of helping the trainers themselves. Because there's a massive gap between what the schools teach you and what you actually need to know to be an effective personal trainer. And, I don't know what the stat is, how many successful personal trainers are there and how many trainers give up. But it's definitely, within a year.
Yeah, it's high.
Personal trainers just tend to give up and, yeah. And when I heard of that, I thought, okay, this is sort of where my calling is. So you gotta make a decision to figure out what it is that you actually want to do and how you want to help people in the fitness industry. If it's just through being a technician, if it's just through being that guy, being that person to fix someone's problems, fix someone's injuries, fix someone's hip injuries. If that's you, then you can definitely do that within the fitness industry. But if you are, I guess, on the entrepreneurial side of things, where you're wanting to, I guess, hit more people and have a bigger impact on leverage your time, then you really have to spend time around people who do the same thing. You need to spend around other entrepreneurs that are doing things in the world that are along the lines of business, leveraging your time and being able to impact more people. So that's it. There's a lot of fitness professionals out there that don't do an ounce of sales or marketing mastery or any types of this, and they get a full bunch of clientele. They have no intentions of building a team whatsoever, and that's fine. If that's the type of trainer that you want to be, then go ahead. But for me, and I know for other people, if you're watching this right now, you're probably in some way similar to me. If you are interested in building a business and finding, I guess, that next step in your career, you have to spend your time with other people. You have to sort of get ideas of what other people in the industry are doing, and then sort of find your way in the whole process of all that. That would be my, I guess, piece of advice.
Awesome, mate. Look, thanks for sharing that. And again, mate, thanks for not only just today, but what I find fascinating is that 2 years ago, or when you started the industry, you probably didn't realise that not only are you going to create this type of experience for yourself, provide work opportunities for other people, but also now inspire others that are in the industry to see that there is a way forward, that there is other possibilities for you to achieve. And mate, that's what I love the most about these interviews. So, mate, thanks for having the courage and being courageous enough to really go for it and be one of those people who lead from the front and certainly walk your talk. So, mate, thanks again for joining us today. And look, if anyone is watching this, you're always looking for great team members as well. So, sometimes people watch this and they go, well, I'm not sure if I am really cut out for this or want to be cut out for what, Emanuel did or business, but I want to be a part of an exceptional team. Mate, I know that you're always looking for, people with the right attitude who want to deliver really great service, be part of a great culture and a great team to contact you. You're down in Sydney, of course, so it'd only be relative to people in Sydney or they want to move to Sydney. But yeah, mate, if there's someone watching it who they aren't really, wanting to achieve the great business success that you have or work towards it, but want to work for a great team, how's the best for people to get in contact with you?
If you're looking specifically for a job, the best bet would just to be to email me. I'm not sure how you'll get my email. I mean, Jace has my email address. You could ask Jace, or perhaps you could link it somewhere.
We'll put a link for sure.
If you do, sure. It's essentially just eman.marquez@elitemoverspt.com, and just let Jace give you guys a link. I am looking for one trainer. I've got one trainer already down in the pipeline, but that's probably going to be it for my gyms that I've got right now. The trainers that I want in my gyms, and then after that, I am looking for trainers potentially to do online coaching with. But that's something that I'm still sort of in the makings of trying to develop that online product. Yeah.
Cool.
So
Thanks,
just
mate.
best to email me.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Well, thanks again. Look forward to catching up with you real soon. And for those who've been tuning in,
Cool.
hope you've enjoyed that. Hope it's delivered value, as I'm sure it has. And stay tuned for one of our up-and-coming success interviews. Thanks, mate.